Hi, I'm Brandon Walker, and I host Mostly Sports. That's not this show, though. I just got confused because the logo is behind me. Anyway, I also am a co-host of Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, with Casey Smith and Big Ev and Blutman. And it is brought to you by High Noon Hard Seltzer. We're live on a Tuesday night, and Casey will talk about High Noon until she's blue in the face.
I will talk about it forever and ever, Brandon. I said this last Tuesday, and I'm going to say it every Tuesday as long as Surviving Barstool is going, because we have to go right at 7 so that we can get off right at 8 so we don't go over Surviving Barstool. The best High Noon on a Tuesday for me is bedtime High Noon, Brandon, because I got to wrangle a toddler into bed before I start to work, and then afterwards I get to sit back, watch Surviving Barstool with an ice cold peach High Noon tea, the best in the game. Obviously, it's the week before Christmas. The playoffs are coming up. We will be in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio State, doing a college football show. The first round of the playoffs, I can imagine those are going to be the best High Noons on the planet on Saturday.
There will be if we win, but that's the beauty of High Noon, that win or lose, High Noon is just, it's fantastic, and it's always there for you when you need to go to highnoonspirits.com, find a pack near you.
Now, normally this time of year, we would be getting ready for the playoff, and we would be getting ready for the first ever 12-team playoff. And we have a game Friday and 3 games Saturday. But I think everybody can agree on this show that is certainly not the biggest news of this week in college football. What everybody was waiting for was when and where and who will Luke Kromenhoek, the Florida State transfer quarterback, where will he decide to play football next year? There's some other also rans in the transfer portal, some guys who just aren't as good, like Jackson Arnold getting punished and getting sold to Auburn. There's been, there's guys like John Mateer who are apparently going to go for $28 billion to Oklahoma or Miami. And then there's the number one quarterback in the portal, Luke Kromenhoek, out of Florida State. He, I believe, and I'm not mistaken, he committed and signed earlier today. Blutman, do you have that news? Where did he sign with?
Kromenhoek?
Yeah, Kromenhoek.
The star quarterback who kind of gets footing at Florida State because of
I will burn
Kromenhoek, to show off his potential brilliance and great potential, is headed to Starkville,
Mississippi State University. So that is the biggest news of the day. I'm sure Ohio State fans, you got a playoff game, whatever. Those are a dime a dozen. Literally, there's almost a dozen of them. But anyway, listen. You know how fucked up this sport is, Big F? You went what, 10-2, you're in the playoff, whatever. Yeah. My team went 2-10. It was literally the worst season of my entire life. It was rock bottom. And then just one tweet, one little flurry of a wide receiver here, a defensive back there, a quarterback here, one little flurry, and all of a sudden I'm like, shit, y'all better watch out. Y'all better fucking watch out. That's how stupid this transfer portal is, Big Evan. I love it.
Pimping ain't easy, Brandon.
It
ain't easy. It's not for the faint of heart. No, it's tough. It's tough. Listen, for me, there's no happiness that comes from this. You win a championship, that's the only happiness that comes from. There's nothing I can do. We can go we could go beat the hell out of Tennessee. We could go avenge the Oregon loss, beat whoever next, Texas, whoever. We lose a 1-point game in the national title. I'll get clowned. That's that's how it goes. The heavy wears the crown. I think that's the saying.
You're making this about you. This is about me and my new quarterback. Casey, what's he doing?
I was the first one to text you. I was happy for you.
When he texted in the group text and he just said all caps Brandon, I was like, what happened? What happened? Did somebody die? No, Brandon, here's the thing. And it's a fucked up sport, because I agree with you. Like a 2-10 team, you're right back in it. And I know that bigger picture, obviously we have the playoff this week and it's exciting. The fact that you can have the feeling that you do with your team who's not going to a bowl game, who's not playing in the playoff, and the transfer portal can go on right now while Ev's team is getting ready for the playoff. And then A&M got Julian Humphrey from Georgia earlier this week. We have to get ready for a bowl game. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos. Congratulations, you got your guy.
That makes sense. Okay. I was like, that's the guy you're going to lead with as far as what y'all got, but I realized you said it because he's playing for a playoff team. Yeah. Okay.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's he's playing for a playoff team, or the Georgia is in the playoff, but he's already announced that he's going to go to A&M. So obviously the transfer portal is just all over the place. Teams who are sitting home are still getting transferred. It's chaos. I love it. The fact that we have college football playoff this weekend before Christmas it's just sex.
Well, Jesus. Listen, college football changed about 40 years worth of change in about 3 years. And they didn't really ever stop to figure out the calendar and figure out, hey, we're going to let these players transfer everywhere they want to go. And we're going to expand the playoff. And we're going to put signing day in December. And we're going to do all this. And they never once thought, now, do all these match up? Do all these work out? And so now we have Penn State playing in a playoff game without a backup quarterback because Bo Pribula, the backup quarterback, is headed wherever he's headed. He wants to be a starter next year. He's not going to stick around and dick around in a playoff when he can get in the portal and go get ready for spring practice. So it is a fucked up calendar. They kind of botched everything. It's still, I get just so elementary school excited when I see portal movement. And I see new faces in new places. Big F.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's free agency. It's Brandon. It's going off what you said about Karamechek is how you said it? I watched him Florida State. I like him. How do you say his name?
Roman Hawk.
Roman Hawk. I watched him. He looked good. I thought he looked good this year. I thought they were the best with him at quarterback. I just got thrown off because crazy fact. I walked past TJU on the street today in Manhattan.
What the fuck's he doing there?
I don't know. Crazy though. I just had to get that out of my brain before I continued. We walked past each other. We had one of those looks where he looked me in my eye and was like, that guy knows who I am. Like I gave him the familiarity. Like I locked eyes with I was starstruck. I walked by him and I was like, oh my God, that's DJ Uiagalelei.
Casey, I use this. I did this to you with great. You didn't really like it earlier in the year, but
oh, good.
When I see DJ Uiagalelei declare for the NFL draft, I'm like, oh, sweetie, come on, come on, sweetie.
It's different whenever you say it with him because I agree. It's like, you can say it about anybody else, but don't say it to me. Yeah, no, and the comments are just like, it's just, they write themselves. Like, I know that you have to make the announcement and that's fine, but like, just why? Just why?
Yeah.
Like, no shit, dude. You just didn't. I feel bad for him. He seems like a nice kid.
Blutman, we'll start with you as far as other stuff because obviously the big news was Roman Hawk. We'll get to the playoff games in a minute. I have one gigantic looming question about these playoff games that we're going to spend this show talking about, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. But Blutman, I guess looking back over the last week, Jackson Arnold to Auburn was a big deal. Auburn then took a second transfer quarterback, which leads to my theory, and it opens up discussion about my theory that transfer quarterbacks might be the stupidest motherfuckers in the entire fucking world. Like, how are you a starting quarterback at Stanford or a transfer quarterback, and you're like, I'm going to go where somebody else just went? That's just so dumb. Blutman, what do you think about Jackson Arnold, though?
First off, the thing about me is I see Ashton Daniels transfer to Auburn and think, wow, there's an SEC team that thought he was capable of playing SEC football. Fair. There's a lot of bad talent evaluators in the world, and this is a reminder to fans, not that just because you're in the best conference or you're in this great situation, like wherever, the stature that you have regarding your brand, all this means nothing. If you can't evaluate talent, you can't evaluate talent. And there's people at Auburn that said, hey, Ashton Daniels is very capable of playing in the SEC, albeit this is just their Robbie Ashford replacement, so who really cares? Whatever. Jackson Arnold.
Robbie Ashford played for South Carolina.
I'm saying, like, they had Robbie Ashford. He transferred. Yeah. They were looking for a guy like him. They got him in Ashton Daniels.
Okay. All right.
That's the type of player that they were looking for.
Continue. I'm sorry.
I was going to say Arnold has the capability to cook, but he's with Hugh Freeze, and Hugh Freeze ain't cooking anything good, so, like, who cares? Jackson Arnold needs better advice in the portal. He had a chance to go to Mississippi State, which might be, like, it just is a better situation. You're with Lebby. That is so much better. There's 25 other schools on the same level as Auburn that would have been better opportunities. Guys need help.
If I was Max Kellerman, or not Max Kellerman, who's the Tony? If I was Stat Boy Tony, and this was around the horn, I would have just spammed the points button for Blutman right there.
You would have won.
Big Ev, this was a point I was about to make. I understand you get in the portal, you want to have a new opportunity. Oklahoma did Jackson Arnold dirty. I think Jackson Arnold is a pretty good quarterback, and he didn't have any receivers. They all got hurt, and then they jerked him around to make the coaching staff look better. They put a freshman in who is like half the player that he is, and they absolutely fucked him over. But anyway, Jackson Arnold gets in, and he has a chance to start over his career and go somewhere with solid coaching, with solid structure and solid everything. And he chooses Hugh fucking Freeze. And I have no idea why. I'm not saying the man had to choose Mississippi State. And I'm not saying he had to choose anybody. But there's about 30 coaches in this country I would trust with a quarterback. Hugh Freeze is a fucking snake. He is a dog fucking snake, and he's a piece of shit. And I don't think he's that good of an offensive coach in the year 2024. This mic isn't even on. I don't think he's that good of a coach. What do you think about that, Big F?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was like shocked at the move. Like I figured he would, I kind of figured he would go to another SEC school. I mean, I'd imagine Auburn threw the bag at him. I mean, I agree there probably were better options out there. Levy probably is a better coach specifically for quarterbacks. But I don't know. I mean, I'd imagine Auburn's got quite a bit of money. I mean, the fact that they got Daniels too, it almost makes it seem like they just said, hey, like, we're going to throw money at both these guys. Arnold, I would have to imagine, got significantly more. But regardless, just say, hey, they've had injuries last few years at quarterback. This year Peyton Thorne's not good, but when he was down, they were a total disaster. I mean, Hank Brown left, who was like a big recruit. So maybe they said, hey, we need to get a couple bodies in here. But I'm not shocked at him going to another SEC school. And then I don't know where else he would have went. I mean, Mississippi State, that would have been a good option. I don't think it would have been an option at all. I'm curious what other schools were going after him and like what kind of money was he seeing?
Everything's speculation. I've heard the $2.5 million, which has just been said in the chat. I've heard $2.5 million, which wow.
And that's the market.
The money.
I know it's the market, but it's still a wow.
Know what Mensa got.
It's a wow market. It's a wow market, and when a guy who comes out of high school with all these accolades and spends 2 years not living up to it yet, whether it's his fault or not, gets $2.5 million. Like, what if he had showed all the promise in the world? Would he be worth $8 million? I don't know. Anyway,
Brandon, what the transfer portal represents, the easiest thing in America to sell is hope. That's the easiest thing you can sell, and that's what the transfer portal. That's what all this does. It sells hope. This is a guy who whatever you think of Jackson Arnold, 2 years ago he was a 5-star recruit. Big time name. Just having that attached to you alone is enough to keep I mean, look at DJU, who we just talked. I mean, that's enough to just keep getting opportunities that you probably don't deserve. And Jackson Arnold deserves it. I'm not even saying, or deserves at least opportunity. The $2.5 million is up for debate, but he deserves opportunity. But my point is just like, it's very easy to just sell like you today. Boom, 2-10 quarterback, hope, boom. Rainbow.
But also, like, think about like how the market has already gone up the way. Like Quinn Ewers, we talked about how he got $1 million out of high school to go to Ohio State, and that was wild. Like we couldn't even believe that. And now it's like $1 million, like for these guys. And like Quinn was obviously like the biggest, highest recruit ever. And by the way, Liam, I am so glad I actually read the handle before I text you because I got. I think it was like a fake rookie watch tweet, but there was one that was like circulating that was kind of believable. That was like Bill Belichick is going to go try to pay either Arch Manning or Quinn Ewers like the highest NIL deal ever to come to North Carolina. I was like, there's a guy that can do it, but like I'm getting got by those things. So I'm like, well, yeah, like if Bill Belichick throws around the Super Bowl rings and has like $10 million for one of these guys, why wouldn't they go? It was fake, unfortunately.
Yeah, the main fake one I've been seeing run around today is a fake Ryan Williams to the transfer portal. You got to have a head on a swivel, guys. You got to have your head on a swivel.
Get God.
Casey, do some business, and then I want to talk about our main topic.
So this weekend, as we mentioned, the Barstool College Football Show will be headed to Columbus, 5 p.m. in Columbus. We will be doing the show for the Tennessee game. Obviously, if you're in town and you want to go, I know there's been kind of a scandal, Ev, with the Ohio State tickets. It doesn't matter. Game Time, our official ticketing partner at Barstool Sports. They have the lowest prices guaranteed, the easiest way to filter them all out. You can score great deals with the new Game Time picks. So whether you want to go to one of the college football playoff games Friday or Saturday, the NFL games this weekend, NBA, NFL, the whole thing, they're great Christmas gifts. I have long said that I would much rather get an experience as a Christmas gift or holiday gift, Hanukkah gift, whatever you're into, than a material thing. Why not gift somebody the gift of tickets? Okay, so download the Game Time app, use code RUFF. You can easily score great deals with the new Game Time picks filter. I'm telling you guys, if you're out there and you know your girl wants to go to a concert, girls, your guy wants to go to a game, the best gift you can give, tickets on Game Time, use code RUFF.
All right. So we have 4 playoff games this week. We'll get back to the transfer portal and the coaching hires that we never really – that happened after our show last week. So
big thing did happen this weekend in college football.
Okay, what was it?
Travis Hunter officially won the Heisman, but it was much closer than I think some people thought it would be.
Anybody who didn't think it was going to be close was an idiot. It was a 2-horse race. I'm fine with either guy winning. I'm fine with Travis Hunter winning, but I do like that Ashton Jeanty got due respect from the voters. I do like that they made it close. I do like that it wasn't a runaway. It did feel at one point a couple of weeks ago like a runaway. I think Jeanty's strong Mountain West Conference Championship game kind of closed the gap. But
the reason I say that is because the Vegas odds were just so crazy skewed. So I think people looked at that like it's just there's not even a question of who's going to win. And like obviously he won it. But like when they showed the votes, like it was like, oh, wait, like why were the Vegas odds so ridiculously skewed?
I think it was correct. I think it was like very kind of obvious to know that he was going to win, but that Jeanty had a good portion. Like Jeanty had a lot of
second place votes.
Yeah,
correct. Obviously, Jeanty was on more ballots in the top 4 too, which that's ridiculous that he and Hunter weren't both just unanimous 100%. That's a joke that needs to be fixed year to year. I do feel like what happened was expected. Hunter would win, it'd be close, and that'd be that.
Can I say this? Hunter being great on both sides of the ball, wide receiver and defensive back, is why he won the Heisman, and it's a very deserved award. The man was incredible and he was awesome. He also won the Bednarik for Best Defensive Player of the Year, and he won the Biletnikoff for Best Wide Receiver of the Year, and he had zero business winning either of those awards. That was fucking crazy. He was not the best defensive player in the country this year. He was not the best receiver in the country this year. You had a guy that won the Triple Crown in receptions, yards, and touchdowns, and he can't win it. And then you have a tight end who wins the Triple Crown in that and is second in the country in all these receiving stats, and he doesn't win Best Tight End because there's a guy at Penn State. I thought the awards outside of the Heisman, I'm fine with the Heisman. I thought the awards Big Ed were fucking garbage trash.
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like they've been kind of so trash for a while. I've lost interest in them. Like I've lost like this. Like I find it hard for me to even get that passionate about it. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Like yeah, he shouldn't have won the Biletnikoff. That's crazy. He definitely wasn't the best receiver. I mean, he was great, but he definitely wasn't the best. And yeah, I agree. I mean, he definitely wasn't the best defensive player either. Yeah. I mean, and then you have a strong argument for him to win the Thorpe Award. He wasn't nominated for that. You know what I mean? Like it just makes no sense. None of it really does make sense.
Those are where, like, I know Liam, you have a lot of votes. Like, 'cause I completely agree. Like the Heisman, I said he should win. He did win. Like being able to be very good on both sides of the ball. Blah blah blah. He wasn't the best at either one of those positions, which I know a lot of people use that against him in the Heisman. I disagree. The best player in the country is somebody who can do both at a high level. But the rest of the awards, like I don't even care anymore. I'm like the Heisman ceremony itself is worth watching. You've got the past guys. Obviously, this year you had the star power with Dion and all that. But like the rest of the awards, I don't give a shit about.
Blutman, real quick, we got a whiny fucking bitch in the chat named Mason Under says, not talking about Montana State makes the show a joke. Unprofessional kids playing as journalists. And Blutman, the fact that we have a whiny little cunt bitch on the show, whining like that, is going to make me not let you talk about Montana State. And is it Touchdown Tommy Malott?
Touchdown Tommy. I'll get you some merch if you want.
So Mason, just know that Blutman was going to have a segment later where he was going to talk about Touchdown Tommy Malott and how awesome he is. That has now been cut, you piece of shit little fucking idiot. Great. You showed up, you whined like a bitch, and now you blew it for everybody.
Thanks, dude. Follow me on Twitter, though, where we care about the FCS stuff.
Well, why are they talking about Montana State? Shut the fuck up. No one cares about your little piss ant school.
All right. Hey, whoa.
Blutman does.
Blutman does, and I was going to allow him to talk until this whiny bitch showed up.
It can be a great game, Brandon. Right. Can I say something on awards?
Can you what?
Can I say something on awards right quick?
Yes, you have 43 seconds.
Word. Yes, I have a bunch of votes. Yes, I know that the whole thing is a joke. It's so bad. It doesn't make any sense. In no sense in the world for Travis Hunter to win Best Defensive Player and not be nominated for the Thorpe. I'm glad I've brought it up. That don't make no sense. The math ain't mathin'. Harold Fannin, Brandon, the tie in you're alluding to, Bowling Green, loses out on the Mackey, whatever. Tyler Warren's 7th in the Heisman, somehow ahead of Shedeur, whatever. Behind Bryson Daly. Bryson Daly cast was crazy low, bro. Whatever. Harold Fannin on all 4 first-team All-Americans. Warren ain't there. Interesting. Interesting is all I'm saying.
All right. We have 4 playoff games this weekend. We have Clemson at Texas. We have Indiana Friday night at Notre Dame. We have SMU at Penn State. We have Tennessee at Ohio State. Clemson currently is an 11.5-point dog to the Texas Longhorns. Indiana is currently a 7.5-point dog to Notre Dame. SMU is currently an 8.5-point dog to Penn State, and Tennessee is currently a 7.5-point dog to Ohio State. History, well, it isn't history, it's unprecedented, but logic dictates to me that we might be able to expect one of these underdogs to win outright. If we go on that premise, I'll start with Big Ev. If we allow that premise to take over the show for a second, that one of these will win, who do you think that would be, Big Ev?
Brandon, I'm a little scared. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here. I'm going to tell you I'm worried.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are talking about the cold, Tennessee, Ohio State. Tennessee's practicing inside this week. I don't know. I just think their style of play.
They play cold weather football.
They'll be like they're gonna run the football. Which listen, that does play into our strength. We have the best run defense in the country. I'm just worried about what our offense, specifically our offensive line, is going to look like against Tennessee. That's my biggest concern. So that makes me think. I'm afraid to say they're live. Other than that, I mean, I guess I would like to say I think Clemson may be a little more live than people think. They're the biggest spread, but I don't know. I with Indiana, I don't see it. With even SMU, I don't really see it, especially going up there in the cold. I think Clemson's got a shot at if they can hang in the trenches, which I think Clemson's defensive line can to some degree. I mean, Texas's defensive line has beat people up. I mean, what they did against Georgia, holding their own, was impressive. So yeah, I think Clemson's live. I'm afraid to say that Tennessee, I think, might be live here. Those would be the two.
Casey?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, I don't give SMU or Indiana a shot in this conversation if I have to pick one. I'm not as scared as you. Obviously, you have like emotion and passion into it. I think the answer is Clemson here. And the line, I said this last week, it hasn't moved very much. I understand Clemson lost 3 games, one of them being a Georgia in an absolute blowout, one of them being in South Carolina, one of the hottest teams in the country at the end. And then the Louisville loss was unexplainable. But like Texas, I feel like it's the same conversation that we've had every single week. It's like Texas does not have a good win. Their best win is A&M, 8-4, then Vanderbilt. So like the fact that Clemson is that big of a dog, I think that the question is going to come down to, like you said, the trenches, but also like Quinn Ewers, the last couple games we've seen him, he has made costly mistakes. And I just don't understand. Now they've won, and that's fine. But I do think that Clemson's defense is going to be able to capitalize on those. I'm going to say Clemson. That might be a little bit of a hope thing for me too. But I think if I had to pick one, that'd be the outright winner.
Lutman?
To me, this really isn't close. First off, I would be shell-shocked if SMU went in there and won that game. It's not a big game for Penn State. This should be easy money for James Franklin. Secondly, I think Notre Dame will run all over Indiana. I don't want any piece of that. And I don't think Clemson's in the same stratosphere as Texas. I think Texas has to have a get-right moment and figure it out. This is so obviously Tennessee. It's truly the only team that I think could win a game in this first round of the underdogs. I don't really get the spread being 7.5. I want to point at one of the biggest matchups here. Tennessee's front, getting after the quarterback against an Ohio State offensive line that has suffered countless injuries, an offensive line that Ryan Day says, hey, we're shuffling guards in and out all game. Gross. I hate that. I detest that. I think Tennessee's going to go in there and swarm that offensive line. That's going to get to Will Howard. That's going to make things tougher for him after he's coming off a really poor performance against Michigan where they got to him. And this is going to really test Ohio State and what they're made of. And what is Ohio State made of? Like jelly beans. It's not, it's so squishy and it just, Ryan Day just doesn't have it, man. And now, like, if Tennessee's creating all this pressure and getting to the quarterback and making things so tough, Tennessee wins like a 24-20, 27-20 kind of game.
Yeah. So I do get concerned if I'm an Ohio State fan about the nature of their starts this season. They started slow against Penn State. They started slow against Indiana. They started slow against Michigan. It finally burned them. They don't come out with an offensive aggressiveness. And if they do that and they fall behind against Tennessee, Tennessee's defense can lay on them. I do think Tennessee is far and away the most dangerous team here. And why? It has nothing to do with Ohio State, really. It has something to do with Tennessee. Tennessee's the only team good enough to really be here. Let's just be honest. The other three, Clemson shouldn't be in this fucking playoff. There's a miracle and the conference fell the right way. This is not a playoff caliber team. Indiana, just a 1 in 3 billion circumstance with their schedule laying the way it did, with the SEC decent teams fumbling all over their dick and blowing the opportunity to steal the spot. They just happened to slide in here with an 11-1 schedule when they played the worst 9 of the worst 10 teams in the Big Ten. And the SMU played in a bad conference. They're not good. None of these teams are playoff caliber, but in a 12-team playoff, 9, 10, 11, 12 might be teams that normally aren't playoff caliber, and that's exactly what has happened here. SMU has no chance against Penn State. Indiana couldn't score against Michigan, couldn't do anything physical against Michigan, couldn't score against Ohio State, couldn't do anything physical against Ohio State. They won't do it against Penn State, or Notre Dame, excuse me. And then Clemson, I give more of a shot because I think they're more closely aligned talent profile-wise than Indiana and SMU are to their opponents. But the answer has to be Tennessee because Tennessee's really fucking good. Now, I got Ohio State winning the national title, but this is the toughest, and it should be the toughest first-round matchup is the 8-9 seed.
I don't like Ev's face, like the way that, like when you guys, listen, like obviously I want my guy to be happy, but they were spitting facts, Ev, and I just don't like the defeated look on your face already.
No, because I am worried. I think the offensive line versus their D-line matchup, it was the first thing I said about the game. I think it's just very, very scary for us. I'm just scared of this team getting off the mat. Like I just don't know if this team is gonna. I'm just worried if things like go bad early, or the only thing I feel good about with this team is I think the defense will play well. I think our defense will play well.
Can I say something about Ohio State?
Go for it, sir.
Let's look at this season, okay? You lost a coin flip game against Oregon. That was two great teams back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They play that game 10 times. It might be 5-5 at the end. All right. That's just the reality of the situation. They went to Penn State on the road in a spot where they had to be tough, and they out-toughed Penn State. Did they not? They came home against a playoff Indiana and just bullied the shit out of them. There's one gigantic, terrible, embarrassing, awful black hole of a dark mark that is blackening the eye of the season, and that is the Michigan game. And as far as I know, Michigan ain't showing up in Columbus on Saturday night. Now, that might be a pathetic thing to say, that you're talking about a coach and a team that needs to not be playing Michigan to be able to be on the game, but this is not a team that's been out-toughed every single week. It's a team that got out-toughed against Michigan. That happened, but it hasn't happened every week. I think they could be fine. I mean, Tennessee went to Arkansas and lost, folks. They're good, but I don't think this is some sort of albatross that is going to come in there and bully the shit out of all right. Everything is happening. I've got people dropping food off. I got people dropping jerseys off. I got the transfer portal going crazy in my phone. That was my take about Ohio State.
Ryan Day to me, Ryan Day is like, he's broken my confidence. That's really what he's done. He's just shattered my confidence to pieces. I'm a shell of myself as an Ohio State fan. I'll be rooting like hell. I'm very excited to go. I had this unwavering confidence that has now been taken from me. And I kind of don't know what to do. Like I need to go kick Tennessee's ass, and I'll get back. Like I'm just so.
Oh, you'll be back by kickoff.
No,
please. He'll be back before our show.
No. I'll bring the juice on Saturday. Trust me.
Saturday about 5:00. Ev will be like, they're winning the national title.
No. I wake up that morning, I'm fucking like this. I'm ready to go. But
what's this thing about Tennessee fans thinking they're taking over the shoe? Or do they believe they're the first road team ever to buy tickets?
Well, yeah, it's tough. People do this thing where listen, I understand it, where I feel like people just don't look at it in the way is there's never been home playoff games before. You have people that have season tickets who get these tickets. Like some of these people, this could be a difference between their kids having a great Christmas or not. It's one game. Like I understand. Listen, if some rich Tennessee fans are going to come throw a few grand at you for your $100 ticket, what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? You're going to see some Tennessee in there. You're going to get a quarter of the stadium's going to be orange. Listen, Tennessee's never done anything. They've literally never done anything. They haven't won anything of significance in a quarter of a century. They're going to come up for this game.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I thought what had happened was Ohio State's ticket sales thing leaked accidentally early, and Tennessee fans just bought up all the tickets as quick as they could. and that's why Tennessee's getting a good portion out there.
Even if they got 30,000 people, that's still what, 70,000 Ohio State. I don't think the crowd's going to have any effect on this game. I don't think the weather's going to have any effect on this game. People are talking about the wrong things. The only thing that's going to have an effect on this game is where's Ohio State at mentally from that embarrassment they suffered 3 weeks ago. Have they gotten over it? If they have, they're going to win. If they haven't, they're going to lose.
I don't like what Ryan Day's been saying.
He's not been saying good shit.
Ryan Day before the season had 3 goals. 3 goals. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, and like win national championship. Now he's talking and he's saying, hey, our only goal this season was get to the 12-team playoff. Joke of a human being. That's all I'll say.
Casey, do some business.
Well, we're talking about holiday gifts, Brandon. We're talking about, what you can do to have some fun. Listen, if you're somebody in your life and you know that they are not on DraftKings, they're of age and they're not on DraftKings, let them know. Give them a little card and say, hey, guess what? All you have to do is bet $5 on any bet. And as long as that bet hits, you get $150 in bonus bets. Tell them we sent you. I mean, listen, it's kind of a cop-out gift, but obviously it's a great one. $150 in bonus bets immediately is great. Our partners at DraftKings have been doing this all year. They've been giving away bonus bets. They're doing it again. $5, any line. It does not matter as long as it wins. Use promo code RUFF when you sign up. New customers, obviously, if you're of age, do it. We love DraftKings.
All right. Well, we haven't talked about some stuff that's kind of old news now, but I'm going to sneeze.
Do it. Look at the light.
Bless you.
Isn't that a thing? I don't think it's actually a thing. People say that. I don't think it's actually a thing.
Bless you, Brandon.
Blemon, I know that you were tweeting about it. The picture of Bill Belichick standing in the corner with the guy signing his letter of intent was so fucking funny. Yeah. Like it was just a perfect Bill Belichick photo.
He could not care less about any of this, but he's gonna make sure he's there for the photo op and make sure, hey, if you're a recruit, if you're in the portal, I'll be there when you sign that LOI. I'm here for you.
So good.
He is the most hello fellow kids coach in the game now. It's just like he is that meme. What's up, guys?
It's just, but not even like
no, you were
what's
the
up,
meme
guys.
there.
Like he doesn't even
you
care
were
to
the
like
meme there.
pretend. Like he's just like standing there. I love the meme that was like Bill, just fucking sign the thing. Like that's probably what he's doing. Like, kid, I don't fucking care. Like, just sign the thing. Like, you want to see my Super Bowl rings or what? Like, I don't know what you want from me.
We have 2 retreads. Well, not retreads. Yeah, they are retreads. Rich Rod to West Virginia, and then we have Scott Frost to UCF. Have we talked about this? Did we talk about Scott Frost? I feel like we have.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
But we didn't talk about Rich Rod, correct?
No.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this, Big Ev?
There's a part of me that like kind of likes. I'll tell you what, I like it a lot more than I like Scott Frost to UCF.
Yeah, I agree.
I like it a lot more than Scott Frost to UCF. I mean, at least he's like been having some success like leading into this. I mean,
but my thing about him is when he succeeded at West Virginia the first time, he was on the cutting edge of putting speed at every position, putting speed at quarterback and putting as much speed as you can at running back and everywhere. He was on the cutting edge of spreading out the defense and making sure you expose those lanes and letting the quarterback. And that was 20 years ago now. He's not on the cutting edge of that anymore. Everybody's doing it, making his recruiting job harder, but he is – I mean, I kind of get it. Like, I get going back to the guy that made you something, and I get trying to run it back. He already said he should have never left, and he should have never left. He went to a piece of shit program with bad morals, and, it almost tanked his career, and that'll happen. Blumman, what do you think about it?
I actually absolutely love this hire. I love that they're reigniting the flame. And, yes, Rich Wad. The game is innovating, but he's still in.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh no, Blutman.
Yeah, we've lost Blutman.
Blutman,
what?
Yeah.
We lost you for a second.
We're on the same Wi-Fi. How am I being lost?
Why are you hollering at me? I'm just here, man.
Hollering at you. I'm hollering at the.
Well, good luck, man. Pete don't care. Pete don't fucking care.
We on the same Wi-Fi, dude. That's crazy. I was saying I love the Rich Rod hire. I love that they're reigniting the flame. And yes, while it's 2024 and a lot of time has passed, Rich Rod is still cooking in the innovation side of things offensively. Jacksonville State's tempo was mad quick. They play incredibly fast. So they're going to – what?
I thought Mad Quick was funny. What do you want me to do? Sometimes
I thought the connection
sometimes
went
when
out
you
again.
say-
I thought
sometimes when you say something that amuses me.
the connection went out again. I'm
No.
very happy that they're doing this. He's going to recruit well. He's going to recruit ideally. And I'm very excited to watch West Virginia football for the first time in how many years? I can't wait.
First of all, Blutman saying mad quick, you saying it was what was funny. I do agree with Brandon. It didn't sound right, but do you? I love it too, because like if you're a West Virginia fan, you have to be excited because like obviously like when you looked at the names, and I know like Nick Tranier was saying like Jimbo Fisher and like guys like that, like if you want to reignite an excitement and like Ev, you said it, like giving hope to a fan base, bringing a guy back, like even though it was 20 years ago, bringing a guy back that they love and adored and would do anything to have never leave, that's the way you get a fan base on board. Now, obviously, if he comes in and he isn't evolving and all the things that he needs to do, that's going to die pretty quickly. But at least they didn't get some, like slapdick, like guy that they weren't going to be excited about. Like you're going to give West Virginia Rich Rod back. Of course, they're going to be excited. Like if you're a fan base, you got to love it.
Casey, do one more business. How many we got?
We got two more. With the one that you're waiting for is not yet. So cool your horses. Again, gift giving season, but not just gift giving season. It's always, you want to look your best. And we talked about them. And Ev, I wish that they would have been a friend of the show when we were in Texas, when you were decked out for the OU Texas game. Tecovas, the best boots in the game, because anywhere worth going is going with good boots. I have a pair of Tecovas. And when I tell you that like a lot of boots, like when you first wear them, they're stiff, they're uncomfortable, they hurt your feet, not Tecovas. They come in, they're handcrafted, and they're broken in comfort. And if you're a boot guy, a boot gal, you know how important that is. Tecovas has blown up on the scene. They started in 2015 in Texas. They're all over the place. They've got national commercials everywhere because they are incredibly comfortable. And like I said, handcrafted. They have everything you could possibly want, whether it's for a long day at work, whether it's a big night out, whether you want heeled boots, square-toed boots, pointed-toe boots. They've got them all at Tecovas. And right now, 10% off at tecovas.com/roughness. And all you have to do is sign up for emails and text. That's TECOVAS.com/roughness, tecova.com/roughness. See site for details. Point your toes west, Brandon. Tecovas. Again, these are not just any type of boots. These are the best looking and most comfortable boots in the game, and they're from the great state of Texas.
All right. Text you. Yeah, that's exactly right. Get his ass out of here. We're not, you can say football takes, you can say, you're not going to say personal stuff about anybody here. So get his ass out of here. Okay.
Is it about me?
Huh? It was about all of us. Yeah. But it was stuff that was not anything to do with college football. Just, I'm not going to do that stupid shit. Call me whatever you want. Anywho, so I thought this was a great segue to the segment I was about to do.
Oh.
Chat, you are here. I want you here. We don't do this. We haven't done this often this year. We used to do it all the time. I'm going to open it up for questions right now.
Oh, boy.
I'm going to open it up for questions. Everybody who is in the chat, you can ask a question right now. If I see it and I read it, they'll answer it. If not, I'll try to keep up. The questions are open. You can ask about the transfer portal. You can ask about the college football playoff. You can ask about anything you want. We got 20 minutes left in this show, probably about 18 minutes left in this show. It's now up to you guys, and we'll do our full college football playoff preview on Thursday, break down all the games and who we think is going to win and get it ready for right now.
It is. I was going to say, what we haven't done, I don't think, one time this season that we did every single week was when we would put out the tweets with like hot takes. I don't think we did that one time.
Walrus Hooker says, better chance, SMU or Indiana? I think it is clearly, to me, Indiana. I think SMU is the one that probably belongs here the least. Indiana, I think, can – also, I don't really respect Notre Dame all that much, so I think that Indiana has a better chance. SMU, neither have a chance, in my opinion. Big Ed, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's Indiana too. I think maybe a cold game. I mean, maybe they can keep up with them a little bit. I just think SMU has no shot. I think SMU is going to get blown out.
Yeah, Blutman, what do you think?
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Indiana or SMU? Who has more of a chance?
Indiana has more of a chance. I think SMU has a 0.0001% chance. Truthfully.
Casey?
I agree. I mean, SMU, are they the best team or do they deserve to be there? They deserve to be there because of the way the ACC fell, but they have the least chance to win one of these games.
Hunter Horton says, is Gunnar Stockton good enough for Georgia? Big F.
No, not to win the whole thing. I think just shy, but no.
Blutman?
I think a lot of Gunnar Stockton's success was adrenaline based, and then as the game started to go on, he started to lose that first quick luster. I don't think I think they're going to lose their first game. I think Notre Dame's going to beat them.
All right. Tyler Merton says, will UNC win the 8? I skipped you, didn't I, Casey?
It's okay. It's all right. I mean, I do think that he's good enough because I don't think there's a team that is out there that's completely unbeatable. And Georgia has played so up and down. Like it's not like Carson Beck's been some world beater all year either. He's had his moments, but it's not like we're downgrading from Carson Beck, like, some dramatic level.
You read that question.
You want me to read it?
Yeah.
Tyler Merton, will UNC win the ACC championship in the next 5 years?
I'm going to go ahead and just listen. It's a new day. It is a new day. Bill Belichick is in college football, and the answer is unequivocally 100% fuck no, they cannot. Absolutely fucking not. Go ahead.
Are you saying that solely based on because you don't think Bill Belichick can evolve with the college game? I think that if you're going to have a guy that can, I know that you guys convinced me, he's going to go get the talent and be like, I can call anybody in the NFL right now. And the ACC is dog shit for the most part.
I don't know how much that I can call everybody in the NFL is really going to work compared to Clemson sitting one state below him saying, yeah, we can call a couple of people in the NFL too. Also, we'll give you $1 million to play here.
Yeah.
There's others. And then there's the North Carolina is situated in such a state. There's a lot of talent in North Carolina, and Tennessee picks it off. Georgia picks it off. Florida picks it off. Alabama picks it off. You got to play defense in your own state. And I don't know, man. I think not. Let's see.
Yes. I say yes.
Matt says, any hope at all for USC to become a top 5 program again with Lincoln there? Blutman, I'll let you take this one.
No, that was easy.
No.
Wow. Big Ev.
No, I don't think so either. Me and Blutman have been pretty aligned all year. He's a bad coach.
And
He's
by the
not
way,
there after next season. He
That's
shouldn't
it.
have been there after this season. They already made the mistake of not getting rid of him, right? It's just too much money tied up. They're stuck.
do you think, I was going to ask you this, Blutman, do you think that I know it's probably too late because the coaching carousel is wide open, but if they just get absolutely embarrassed in their bowl game, do you think they fire him or do you think it doesn't matter?
No, I don't think the bowl games matter. I people have asked me about bowl games a lot. This is the first time in my life I'm not excited for bowl season. There are no bowl games that I'm like, whoa, that's pretty good. It's just the bowl season has completely lost its luster. Teams are going to get blown out. Teams are going to get shredded. Teams are getting torn apart before the dang bowl game is even a thought of being played. USC is losing guys left and right already. There's the excuse. Oh, we didn't have Bear Alexander out there. We didn't have the Branch Bros. We didn't have Kyron Hudson. All these guys get poached. It goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show. December is a mess for college football. A great, beautiful mess, sure. It's a mess, though, and it needs to be fixed and addressed instantly. This can't happen next year. We have too many guys that leave for the portal that are being poached and talked about in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. There's guys being talked hey, December comes. We got some money for you. Let's make it happen. That stuff can't be happening.
Yeah.
Brandon, do you feel the same way about bowl season that Liam?
I don't give a fuck about bowl season.
It is. So I was thinking, speaking of episodes that we do, and obviously the timeline, not just for college football, but just for media and college football is so different. But normally we do a show right around this time before Christmas where we sit down and we're the most exciting bowl, the most underrated bowl, who we think will be the closest. And when I was sitting down to get ready to do the show, I was we're not who fucking cares? Who cares? We have the 12-team playoff. And obviously I'll pay attention to my own bowl game, but outside of that, I just don't care.
People get mad about bowl games not mattering as much, and they want to say, oh, when I was growing up, or a couple of years ago, they mattered so much. Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, we let sports writers determine the national champion. A couple of years ago, a player had to sit out if he transferred. A couple of years ago, if a player received a ham sandwich from a school, he wouldn't be able to play for 3 years. A couple of years ago, there were a lot of things different in college football, but things change, life changes, everything changes. We now have a playoff. We have these things. And on an individual basis, bowl games matter for teams. They are 15 they're 15 practice sessions. They're you get to see your future. You get to see all these certain things. For a team like South Carolina, who finished 9-3 with a young quarterback and a young defense, this is a big opportunity. For a team like Illinois, it's a big opportunity. But on the whole, I just don't care. None of it fucking matters. And me being a college football guy, if I'm saying that, it doesn't mean, I hate college football. It doesn't. I'm telling you the fucking truth, and you know that it's true.
But yeah, I was about to say, there's a guy, Austin, that just said, like, you should care, Casey. You make money talking about college football.
And we make money telling the fucking truth. We're not going to fucking lie to you so you smile about it.
Well, and also, like, I love that he singled me out. We all said it, but it's true. Like, I am absolutely going to watch bowl games. They're going to be on throughout the holidays. Like, we're going to gamble on them because that's what we do. But, like, if you can honestly sit here and say that you care about a random bowl the way that you used to with the 12-team playoff and it's not your team playing, like, I don't believe you. Like, I don't, like, of course they're going to be on. Like, it's the holidays. That's what you do. But, like, the way that the playoff has taken that, these meaningful, like, the New Year's Six bowls and all that stuff, it just doesn't hit the same anymore. I'll be watching the Vegas Bowl, obviously. I'll be gambling on some here and there, but they just don't hit the way that they used to.
Now, can I say one thing about it? They certainly aren't hitting the way they used to, no doubt. But I feel like this year we're seeing a slight pushback on it a little bit. And I'll give Dion and Shadur and Travis some credit on that. Cam Ward just came out. Boyce said he's going to play in the bowl game. I appreciate that. McCord said he's going to play. Like, we're seeing some guys who are like all three of those guys are quarterbacks that are going to get drafted, and they're all going to play. I think we're seeing, and Hunter's obviously going to be a top 5 pick. I feel like we're seeing, obviously you're going to have a ton of guys in the portal still. It's going to be a thing, but I feel like this year we're seeing a little bit of pushback on it from like seniors.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. The bowl matchups are garbage. What is the best bowl matchup?
South Carolina, Illinois.
Iowa State, Miami, Colorado, BYU, 2 conference opponents playing each other in bowl game. It's over. It's ruined. It's a shell of itself. And
they should have Miami, Colorado would have been the game. That would have been
awesome.
The game was Alabama, Colorado. Throw the bowl tie-ins away. Alabama went 9-3 in the SEC, and they're playing a 7-5 Michigan team in a bowl game. Bowl season's over. It's done. It's not what it used to be. It's not what it used to mean. And it's sad and it's pathetic, but this is where we're at in college football. Stuff dies, and the bowl season died. Is what it is. Loved it for my entire life. Dead. I'll watch it. Dead.
Well said. Let's see. More questions. They have stopped asking them. Blutman, one question. I think it was Nate Godin said, who wins the FCS this year?
South Dakota State beats Montana State in a very good game in Frisco. Great FCS games this week, but we can't talk about it because that one guy in the chat ruined it earlier.
Yeah, can't. Unfortunately, that was the opportunity we were going to have to talk about touchdown Tommy Mellott, but it's over.
I'm going to bring you the sweatshirt.
The guy.
That is a great college nickname.
Touchdown. Anytime you put touchdown in front of something, it's great.
And Tommy Mellott sounds like a Varsity Blues type character, like a Friday Night Lights character. It doesn't sound real.
Okay, I'll give you credit. Okay.
What?
Well, half of me was like, well, Friday Night Lights was a true story, but then the TV show was not. Okay.
The TV show was not.
TV show was not. But
and by the way, the TV show is way better than the movie.
That's
you're out of your fucking.
That's the worst. Listen,
you're out of your fucking.
Movie is phenomenal. I love Billy Bob Thornton.
Friday Night Lights might be I think it is the best football movie of all time.
It is. It's the best sports movie of all time.
Not the best sports movie. It is the best football movie.
I don't know if it's the best. It's up there. Listen, it's good, but like Friday Night Lights to me is like just one of like my all-time favorite like feel-good TV shows.
But you
know what it is. You know what everybody says. Now we don't because we don't read. Apparently, the book blows both out of the water.
Well, the book is the movie pretty much to a T. There are some change. They do some changes in the movie to make the last game more competitive. But Blutman, you were making a face. Anyway, I'll get to you in a second. They
made a big comeback in the state championship, Brandon. It was a close game.
It wasn't, was it?
In the movie or in real life?
In the movie, it was. In real life, it wasn't.
Oh, I don't know about in real life. In real life, it might not have been.
Brandon, I know you don't like this take, but I mean, like, obviously Friday Night Lights is up there for a football movie, but I think Remember the Titans is the best football movie.
That's so.
But I also like Denzel is just.
That's so fuck. Okay.
You don't like
There's grown ass men that can vote in this country that'll tell you Rudy's the best football movie.
No.
I like
Put those people in
Never
prison.
seen
I love watching Remember the Titans. I love the movie. It is one of my favorite movies. It is not really a great movie. It has some of the goofiest shit you'll ever see in a sports movie. They lie so much in that movie. It doesn't hold a candle to Friday Night Lights. It's a top 3 football movie. That's fine. But backside George reverse, no, fake 23 blast with a backside George reverse, 75 yards away for the championship. No. They sang na 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 na, hey hey goodbye at a fucking funeral, Casey. No.
It's so good. Varsity Blues is up there.
No, God.
No, Varsity Blues is like a circus.
No, I know Brandon doesn't like Varsity.
This
It's
is
the
where
blind
I love
side.
Varsity Blues. but
Blind
Varsity
side.
Blues
It's
is
the
a
blind
circus.
side,
Like,
Brandon. It's the blind
like,
side.
Friday Night Lights is that real shit. Like Friday Night Lights is that like if you, I don't know, like Friday Night Lights is just Friday Night Lights is everything. Like it's just perfect. It's just the perfect like real football movie.
Friday Night Lights is the best football movie. I would agree
By
with
the
you.
way, if the chat is saying they turn me off because I'm only saying the blind side because Brandon might hate the blind side more than he hates like death itself. So
Well, because it's a lie. It's bullshit. Even the guy it's about is like, that's not true. That's not true at all.
no, I know, which is why I brought that up. Brandon, I know you got delivered some food, and
did.
we have some exciting news for all the people in the chat, whether you're loving us, hating us.
When I
talking
drop this
shit,
bag on you,
we have some free hamburgers to give away, Brandon. We've got Shake Shack. Shake Shack is now. We've all got it. Listen, I've got my burger over here. Blutman, sorry, I think Brandon probably has yours. Ev has got his. Listen, it's the season for free Shake Shack. I love Shake Shack so much. It's the best blitz of the week. It's the holiday burger blitz, boys. They've been running free burgers this week as long as you just do a $10 minimum purchase, which is not
look at it.
at all.
Casey, look at it.
Listen, this one is the Smoke Shack.
That's my favorite one.
It has the bacon. It has the cheddar cheese. It has when it came into my apartment, it smells so good. And all you have to do is spend $10 and you get a free burger through December 24th with Burger Blitz. So it's all one word, Burger Blitz. Terms do apply. Today's Freeze Burger. So if you're listening to this right now, like the East Coast, it's only $7.55. We've got Surviving Barstool coming up. We've got Jerry After Dark. We've got it all. And who doesn't like free food? The Smoke Shack is a truly never miss burger. Brandon, take a big bite. Take a big bite, big boy.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
Take a big bite.
Yeah.
Use
Dare
Burger
me one
Blitz.
time, why don't you?
Use Burger Blitz and look out for more free burgers every single day through Christmas Eve. Burger Blitz, boys.
Well, now you made me take a bite.
I got to take a bite now too, I guess.
No, you made me take a bite. I can't go.
Well, somebody else can talk. Let me take a bite, and then I've also been
Let me
snacking
get
on
a
the fries.
bite through the camera. You got
Also,
my
saying that Friday Night Lights, the TV show, is not good is crazy. That's crazy.
The show is good. The movie is just like 1,000 times better.
I said the movie was better. It is better. I never could get into the show. I tried multiple times during the first season. I'm watching, and like they got a fullback named Tim Riggins. He's 16 years old, and he's got the problems of a 38-year-old divorced father of 3. He's like drunk on. He's like dependent on the bottle. He's like got all these problems. I think he's paying rent. Like the writing was kind of terrible in that first season. Maybe it got better. I've seen TikTok. I love Kyle Chandler. I think he's great. I should love everything about it, but the storylines in the first season were just so fucking crazy. You got a hurt quarterback and his cheerleaders like in the hospital bed riding somebody else. I'm supposed to be excited. I'm supposed to I don't want to see a high school girl having sex on TV. What are we talking about?
Lila Garrity she was dating Derek Jeter, I think, when she was filming that show. Minka Kelly.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show in a while, Brandon, but there was issue with the writing where the writer strike was going on.
That was bad. Hand up. That was really bad.
And they were still they were like using scab writers or whatever to fill it in and get it done anyway. And then the actual writers like come back for a next season and don't continue anything that the scab writers did.
It was bad.
Shout out Marky Blutman, big anti-writer strike guy. Well, no, he's a writer. I don't know how to.
All right.
Well, Marky.
We got to get out of here. Surviving Barstool coming up in 2 minutes. I don't know what episode it is, but it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. So go ahead and check that out. Jerry After Dark coming up with the entire Chicago office doing a bunch of stuff after that. So we got a full night of content coming at you. We're not going anywhere. I'm going to still be here and we're going to be doing stuff. So
And then Thursday night, we'll do our full college football playoff preview. We'll be back for that.
all right, there you go. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll be back Thursday night. Like she just said, that's Unnecessary Roughness.